Hey guys, today I'm going to discuss in detail how you can review your own replays in order to improve your game. This will be episode 2 of my League of Legends Back to Basics guide. So the new Season 7 replay client is super easy to use. In the new client, you go to your match history and click right here to download your replay. You can also download your replays in the post-game screen by clicking here. Once the replay finishes downloading, you click on the button here and the replay will start. Now, this may be a little known fact, but my favorite part about the replay client is that they create files on your computer, which are called raffle files. League of Legends, I meant LOL. Seriously, right? That's the best name that you could think of, raffle? That's pretty funny. Anyway, let's move on to how to make your own videos. You'll notice that once you're in the replay client that there's a small control panel on the bottom of the screen with the record button, a pause button, and all the different features that you would need to make a recording. Once you start recording, you just need to find your best thresh hook and totally awesome thresh plant escape, and you're good to go. So once you're ready to review your awesomeness, you just have to locate the LMAO file. No, I'm just kidding. It's called a WebM or web movie file, which is located under your highlights folder. And just drag the file over to a web browser of your choice, like Google Chrome. Then you can watch your awesome play over again. So now let's get into the nitty-gritty details on how to improve your game using replays. I'm going to be demonstrating this for you by showing you a replay of my own and explaining to you exactly what I look for when I'm trying to use replays. Now, when I'm trying to identify areas to improve upon, there are two principles which I call cascading effects and root cause analysis, which are important to understand first before looking at a replay. Whenever something really big happens in a game, like an ace, what typically happens is actually there's a large series of events, a large cascading series of events that happens to lead to that particular outcome. And root cause analysis is the principle where you look at each of those events and try to implement a change so that the same error doesn't happen to you again. Now remember, you can only affect your own gameplay in root cause analysis unless you're working with a team, in which case you may be able to improve your entire team's outcome. The final tip I have in identifying moments in replays that will help you the most is finding those moments in the game where you are like, what just happened? How did I die? These are the moments where replaying the game will help you the most, but only if you critically think about the replay and what you could have done differently so that you don't make the same mistake again in the future. So on to this game. In this game, I'm a Sona support, and I'm on a team with a Caitlyn AD carry. We are against the Vayne and Thresh, and not surprisingly, we are winning the early game because we are poking out the Vayne. And at one point, we were up by about 10 CS and had forced them to use 3 healing potions. That is until this happened. So clearly this fight was lost pretty badly by my teammate and me. Now let's apply the principles of cascading effects and root cause analysis to this replay to see what we could have done differently. So first of all, when I review this replay, the root cause of the problem was that I got hit by a thresh hook because of poor positioning. Prior to this, I had been behind my minions the entire laning phase, but this one time I decided to run away from the thresh. Now, while identifying the root cause of the problem is important, being critical about what you could have done better is even more important. Ideally, the correct play would have been for me to dodge towards the area behind the minions. I also had enough time to flash away, even after I made my initial mistake of dodging away from the thresh. But unfortunately, as you saw in this replay, I did neither of those things. And the worst part is that my initial mistake also caused a cascading series of events, a cascading series of errors by me and my AD carry, which ended up getting my AD carry killed, and I almost got killed here too. I survived on 1 HP. So instead of continuing to poke out the Vayne, the Caitlyn got into a duel with the Vayne and unfortunately had some poor decision making, allowing herself to get heal baited by the Vayne. So let's restart the replay. So I also have to compliment this Vayne's positioning because she is able to condemn me right away into the wall after Thresh's hook and flay crowd control combo is finished. Now another error that I only noticed while watching this replay is that I forget to drink my healing potion right away in the middle of the fight. This is something else that I would only have picked up on by watching this replay. Now, intelligently, this Caitlyn is trying to focus the Vayne down because she is the real damage dealer, not the Thresh in this particular fight. Now, it's at this point when, although I've made a mistake, we would have still been okay for this laning phase. The Vayne is currently low, and I could have utilized our early healing potion advantage as well as my abilities as a healing sustained support to maintain us through the rest of the laning phase. I'm not sure if the Caitlyn had panicked or thought that I was going to die, but personally I felt that we were pretty safe because they had already used all their burst abilities on me and they didn't have any more damage. So continuing with this replay, I think that at this moment we should have backed up right here, but for whatever reason, in a moment you'll see that the Caitlyn actually flashes back into the Vayne, which has approximately 120 health left. However, even with 120 health with heal, it's going to take Caitlyn at this point in the game about 4 auto attacks to completely chunk down the Vayne. And compared to the damage output that Vayne, Thresh, and all these minions can do, there's no chance that this Caitlyn should have flashed in. In addition, the Vayne not only had Tumble, but also Flash available to dodge the Piltover Peacemaker from this Caitlyn. So regardless if this Caitlyn had used auto attacks or the Piltover Peacemaker, she had no chance of finishing off the Vayne. Now, I could keep talking about the other micromechanical events that occurred during this fight. I could show you other replays of this game and how Vayne ended up going 15-4-4 and carrying her team to an easy victory. But none of them would have mattered if I had not made a critical error at the beginning of this game. However, by not dodging that one Thresh hook and because Caitlyn got heal baited, this game snowballed against us. So, in summary, I hope this video is helpful for you in identifying the areas where you can improve through root cause analysis. I hope that you learned about the cascading events, the cause and effect events that occur in the game. For example, like Caitlyn wouldn't have been heal baited if I didn't get hooked in the first place. I also hope that when you review your own replays, you know how to improve your play. For example, I know that when I'm playing against Thresh, I have to dodge specifically towards the area behind the minions. Well, anyway, I hope this video is helpful for you in learning how to use replays to improve your own game. This has been North American Summoner Severi, and I hope to see you on my next episode of League of Legends Back to Basics.